nation.
Politics, as they say, is a game of number. And with what 70% of the population, the largest population in Nigeria, gone quieted, the youth have been silenced in politics in Nigeria. Hello and welcome to 360 Youth Dialogue, where we talk about issues concerning the youth. And like I say always, if it's concerning the youth, trust me, we are dissecting it here on this table. My name is Juliet Omura, and I'm the host for 360 Youth Dialogue. Today, we're talking about a topic that is at the heart of democracy and participation and representation. We're talking about the topic, not too young to run, youth participation in Nigerian politics. And today I have with me, I like to call him the Chief Advocate of Abuja. They call him the Chief Advocate of Abuja. His name is Yunusa Ahmed Yusuf, aka Bakunu. I don't know. I kill people's name. I murder people's name. I don't know if I do that for fun, but it's so good to have.
So you're proud of murdering my name?
No, I think I do it for fun because I can remix people's names.
Okay.
So good to have you here on 360 Youth Dialogue, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Exactly. And also joining us is you, the viewers. We are so glad to have you on board. And remember, like they say, on this conversation, youth are the leaders of tomorrow. So stay with us after this short break. We will be delving on the topic of not too young to run, youth participation in Nigeria.
Proud murderer.
Our young people, our young Nigerians, are they well represented in Nigeria politics? What are the barriers? What are the setbacks? What are the wins? And like I said, if you're just joining, we have Bohun Bakunu of Abuja, aka Chief Advocate of Abuja, Yunusa Ahmed. Right?
Yes. Yunusa Ahmadu Yusuf.
Ahmadu Yusuf. You're very welcome. So let's dive right in. Let's jump right in. Can you tell us a bit about yourself? What's behind Yunusa? What's behind Bakunu? What's behind everything about you?
Well, there is nothing too much. I'm a youth invited by you to come and do justice to this topic. And I'm a resident of the FCT just like every other person.
But there's something about you that stands out, especially once they type that Bakunu or Bahun Bakunu of Abuja or Chief Advocate of Abuja. That's your advocacy for the indigenes of FCT. What's your drive? What pushed you to do that for the people?
So I sympathize with the people of FCT, the plight of FCT. I was born, brought up before the FCT was separated. My forefathers are indigenous of FCT. Before it was separated, most of our Kogi, Nasarawa, Niger, Kaduna, all the surrounding states, FCT was carved out from those states. So it's because of the differential, it's because of they have gotten their own independence while FCT still remain the center. So that does not mean we should describe ourselves as people who are not part of FCT. So we fight the plight of the FCT as our own state of origin as well. or place of origin.
Yeah, very interesting.
And so it's something that I have been part of. It's a struggle that we have to continue. We will not stop until we get justice in one way or the other.
You know, we were discussing before the show started, and you told me that your name was derived from an old man who you advocated for, and then he gave you that name.
Yes. The name Boomberko is just like a community name that have come to become a household name. When you do something, people will end up naming you after what you do. If today I was into criminality or any wrongdoings, the same way people would have called me. If you go out in politics, you see where they call people akagom, somebody who is very stingy. If you see somebody who is very cheerful, people will look for a name. Before you know it, you're being named. So it's the same way that the name Boomberko, when I don't tolerate nonsense, I pay a lot of people when it comes to injustice. Whenever there is a need to tell anybody the truth, irrespective of who you are and how old you are, or whoever you think you are, I will still pepper you with the word of truth. So an old man, haven't assisted him on compensation, community-related issues, where his land was to be taken without being compensated, and I intervened. He now named me Buumberkomi, and then the next thing, people started adding the Abuja and the rest of it.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, there is this school of thought, as you're an advocate for the indigents of FCT, so you're more like, I don't want to classify you as an activist, but more like an advocate. There's this school of thought that says that most people in this your state doing things you do, they harbor this on the long run harbor the intention for politics. Do you, on the long run, intend to, be into politics?
No, I have already started participating in politics. I was a candidate, the chairmanship candidate of Kagarku local government, a boundary between Buari and Kaduna. If you just cross Buari by 1 meter or just a little distance, you will enter Kaduna State. So that's where my local government starts. Contested election there, won primary election, very huge margin. Out of 262 delegates, I got 260.
Interesting.
My opponent got only 2 votes in PDP.
Yeah.
And then during the general election, and I'm very sure even the governor of Kaduna, Governor Obasani, was scared because they told him I was going to win election by 90% out of 100.
Interesting.
So they refused to even conduct election, but declared whosoever he wanted. I am sure posterity will judge him, and then I am up to date. I wouldn't tell you I have forgiven him because there was no election, but there was results. We were still at the polling unit trying to cast our vote. When votes were declared by Obasani, directed the SICOM in Kaduna State to have declared the results that there was no vote. And my people wanted to protest. I stopped them because I know what insecurity will give birth to if we had allowed the people to have revolted yet. So I tried to manage it, and I forgot about it because the people come first.
Exactly. That brings me to our main topic. Looking at all this, what were the barriers? What are the barriers youth face when trying to come into politics? What barrier did you face?
What barrier I face, actually, now, to an extent, the barrier was one, when the people ahead. For instance, now, the lesson I learned from Governor Obasani was the fact that no matter how people like you, until he agrees, you cannot become. As a young man, you cannot be a local government chairman until he selects you. So it is not election. When you are saying young people should participate in politics, sometimes I just laughed. Most of these leaders you're seeing and elders you're seeing will never allow the young people who are prosperous, who can win election, who have the zeal
And pushing for the people.
and are ready to come and serve the people, who want to bring their energy, their adaptability and everything to come and serve the general public with their strength. They are not ready to give us the opportunity until they have their own factors to determine.
Interesting.
And in most cases, they want people who will never challenge, confront, or tell them the truth. They are not interested in, if you are coming to serve the people with your strength, you want to come and bring new ideology, you want to bring new technology, you want to empower other people. No, that is not their interest. Their interest is, who is that will say yes, sir?
Interesting.
Who is that will never confront whatever that I say? That is what it's important to them. So until they are very sure that you are that person who whatever they say, so you accept. So the challenges that the young people face is the fact that I will accept you
Based on your own term.
to be who I want you to be.
So
In some cases, they will even make us to sign an agreement, a closed door agreement, before they allow you to go and contest or even win primary elections. Part of the challenges we will face is financial capacity. In most cases, they will bring out funds to fight you on that day.
interesting.
Part of the challenges again we face is that they are in charge of the delegates. Mind you, there are two types of election here. The first one is the primary election. There is primary and secondary election. The primary election is that election that the inner party system, like for instance, according to the Nigerian constitution or the electoral law, You must have a registered party.
That's as a young person.
Yes.
Okay.
You must have a registered party. It is that party that have all the requisites, the requirement, tax clearance, what, everything that has to do registration with INEC, with the CAC, as a body, as an organization. Then from there, you will now key into the party.
Okay.
Then the party will have a structure.
Structure in what?
In all the 774 local government in Nigeria, the party will have what we call a ward chairman.
Okay.
Each ward has a chairman, has a secretary, have a vice chairman, has a treasurer.
So the youth have to pass through all this.
You will pass through those people, lobby them,
interesting.
in fact, service them, give them what they ask you of. I don't know what it is called, either bribe or money.
I mean,
but you definitely,
envelope.
you must bring that brand envelope. And that is what will now make them to endorse you as their own candidate. You might have been like 5 people. So among you, the most powerful person, or you call him the highest bidder if you wish, the most powerful person, or the person who is more resourceful, either financially, or can be able to convince them, or have the godfatherism. The godfatherism that will speak to them to cast their vote for you. So that person now will now be the one that will represent the party. For instance, I represented PDP in Kagarko local government in the last election. That's in 2004, 2024.
Okay, 2024.
Yes, just last year. Now, what are we saying? If you cannot be able to convince this primary setting of the party, there is no hope.
Interesting. So there is
for
no
you.
hope for a young politician who does not have the finance, who does not have the connection,
No.
who does not have, older people that he can count
Who
on,
is not ready to be loyal?
who is not ready to be loyal. So
Yes.
if, I don't know if I should use you because you're more
Yes.
like an advocate, and I don't
So-
think you're ready to bow for them against the people.
No, it's not possible. And that is one of the reasons why, because it all begins like this. I was in the APC before. And the APC, because they wanted to stop all the young people from contesting.
This is well known that they want
Yes.
to stop the young people.
Yes.
So was that
In
why
Kaduna State.
Was that why they
This is
got
what
out
happened. This is what happened. While I was in the APC, let me tell you the terrible experience I had
Okay.
as a young politician. Now, I left Abuja for Kaduna, and they told me that the form to contest for chairmanship was 10 million naira.
Interesting.
That is minus administrative fee. So I should expect to spend not less than 12 to 13 million naira just to
verified
purchase.
for every young politician who wants to be part
Yes.
of the APC.
Yes, if you want to contest under the platform of the APC. On reaching Kaduna, they told me that the governor have bought all the form for the 23 local government in Kaduna State.
Interesting.
I went to, was it Unity Bank? Yes. It's around APC.
I have a funny question. So was that like your life savings?
No, It wasn't like my life savings, but it was my hustle.
Exactly, your hard-earned money.
It's my hard-earned money.
So
And
I
because
want
of the
us to jump
passion I have to serve the people.
Exactly. I want us to jump into this next question where, unlike you now, most young people, instead of them to take that money, that so much amount, to, invest into politics and try to be there for the people, they would rather, go look for a greener pasture. How can...
You don't blame them.
with all this you've mentioned now, politics is hard, very stiff.
Do you know why you don't blame them?
No.
Now, I spent, if I am not mistaken, with the contribution and donation of the people that have confidence in me and trust, stakeholders, friends I've made at the course of my activism, people that believe that I'm truly going there to go and serve the people. I want to tell you that I spent not less than 150 million naira.
Interesting.
I spent not less than 150 million naira, and Senator Obasani, the governor of Kaduna State, asked them not to bring electoral materials to my local government.
So there was no vote.
So there was no election, but there were results.
Interesting. I mean, we keep seeing such incidents in Nigeria, be it, the local government elections, the governorship elections, and even the presidential elections. It's something that is well known in Nigeria. But I want us to come to this table where, how can we now, I don't know, something's going through my head. With all this you've said now, no youth would want to spend so much time, so much investment. But how can we bring the youth to this table to participate in politics, be it as, as a politician, as a very patriotic citizens, casting their votes, being there? How can we bring the youth to the table to convince them that despite these barriers that you've spoken about, that they can still thrive in the political sector?
Well, it is nearly impossible. It takes miracle. I don't know why the pastors that we have not thrown their net into politics, because they should start doing political deliverance as well in Nigeria. Because the truth is this: I don't see a young politician who has no godfatherism, who is not ready to play their game, succeeding politically. They are not ready to allow any young politician to succeed in Nigeria.
So
what they want to do is, look at that young man who is coming. He wants to contest election there. Whose father is he? Who is backing him? The person who is backing him is my enemy.
So they block.
You block him. Or, how much does he have? They wait on the day of that election, they will bring thugs to chase all your supporters away. Or, arrest some of the people who are supporting him, lock them up.
Just to
until after the day of primary election or so. The bottom line is that you must pass through the primary election first of all. So if the INEC want to assist the young Nigerians, if truly we want a solution on this, my own suggestion will be that what happens to the independent candidates?
Independent candidates, how do you mean?
I want to tell you today, if they ask me not to go through a political party, I'll win election in the FCT without any political party.
But is it necessary to go through political party?
You cannot without going through a political party.
So now there is the...
So it is deliberate.
Party.
Yes, it is deliberate. What they have done is deliberate so that they can shortchange the young Nigerians and refuse us the opportunity not to participate politically. Number one, we have more energy than them. Number two, we are more innovative than them. Number three, we are more modernized than them when it comes to modern technology. These people are old for cry out loud.
Okay,
They should know that old age have catch up with them.
But they're not ready to leave the power.
But they should be honest because they are not helping the future.
You know,
To be honest with you, how can we still have been a man of 70, 80 year old
still running for election.
still running for election?
And coming for the next term.
Do you understand me? Or it's either they are running for election or they are looking for somebody to control. If you're not in power, you're looking for somebody to be telling when to sign and when not to sign. Nigeria cannot continue to develop if we continue like that.
I have two questions I want to throw to you before we take a break. First one, with all this you've said, do you think the political structure in Nigeria is open to the youth? Because with your answers so far, I want you to specifically say so.
You, let me ask you too. You cannot just be asking me alone. Do you think youths can excel politically in Nigeria with the way things are going?
If we thrive, if we put ourselves...
Thrive? What do you mean by thrive?
That's where we're coming from. That's where I want
The thrive we're talking about, that the opportunities are blocked.
But you
the strategy of accessing political power, the procedure are against the youth.
But with the
You cannot
law that was just passed by former president.
The not too young to run that was passed indeed was a good one, but the procedures have not been completed.
So are you saying it's more like a symbolic act?
It was just in fact, if you have something worse than symbolic, you can call it, because
so it's just a paperwork.
Because if it is practical, what stopped somebody from saying, I am a registered Nigerian, I have my national identification number, I want to go and purchase a form from INEC, I'm contesting as an independent candidate, I'm not coming under any party. Go and check on the ballot paper on the day of election. Check Yunusa Ahmadu Yusuf and vote for him. And then let the votes of Nigerians be counted. How many times have you seen vote being counted in Nigeria? That they are counting votes, that practical votes are being counted. How many times? When we're talking about youth participation, I think we still have a long time before that can be actualized.
Interesting.
Because right now, I don't even see the INEC helping the situation. I don't see the people who have accessed power ready to allow power go. There is nothing that will show you that youths are very hopeful for now. I'm not trying to kill our morale, but I cannot see something trying to tell us youths are hopeful.
Okay, this is
if I can go and win election with a wide margin of being sure of winning like 90% of my election, and I am standing at the polling unit waiting for ballot papers to come, and then somebody is announcing election in Kaduna. Was it in Kaduna that they are supposed to announce the election of my polling unit?
Interesting.
They announced my election in Kaduna while I was
still
waiting in Ida Ward. I'm in Ida Ward waiting. And then they are announcing election. And then I have not even seen the ballot paper.
I mean, this is funny.
The worst of it all, They had ballot paper of 2019.
Oh no.
They were bringing ballot paper of 2019
So this is how
to be applied in 2024.
this is how very stifling the politics is for the young youth in Nigeria. But I want to ask you, because you've differentiated these two lines. You've said people in power, that's the old politicians, and then the young people. Now, the relationship between these two, what do you think is in your perspective, what do you think is the gap? Is the reason for the gap? Are the older people scared of the younger generation? Maybe because when they come into power, they change the narrative to something disadvantageous to them. Why do you think the older politicians are afraid of the younger politicians?
Now, they are afraid because they know, one, they have looted the system so much. Two, they know that by God's gift of life, their days are numbered. So, hence their days are numbered. The youth, for instance, if I am accessing power today, as a young man of just about 40 years old, I am thinking, if God grants me life, I should be able to have another 20 to 30 years more. At least, whatever I'm doing now, I should be considering posterity, the life of my children, the life of my younger ones, the life of my friends like you, Juliet, and other people around me. What can I do to cause a change? What technology can I bring? What is the laws that I need to make to make sure that it's meeting up with the modernization and whatever that is happening in the 21st century? But they are not thinking about that. Whenever they access power, what they are trying to do now, what can we loot? What can we steal? So that, hence our days are numbered, we will keep for our immediate family. If that is all they are thinking, you don't expect them not to be scared of the younger generation. They will definitely be scared of the younger generation because the life is not their friend. The time is not their friend anymore.
So they're trying to buy time.
They are trying to see how they can buy time. If you leave them, they will buy life.
But unfortunately, nobody can buy life. So before we continue, we've had so far a wonderful conversation here with, Chief. I like to call you Chief of Chief Advocate of Abuja. That's just the title for me. Chief Advocate of Abuja. He's a very indigenous person of the FCT, and we've had a lot of interesting conversation on youth participation in politics. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll delve more on the successes and more on the not too young to run.
This is Third Eye Africa TV, exposing crime, savaging the nation.
Welcome back, and if you're joining now, should I say you're late because we've had interesting topics, but you are still early because we are now dissecting. We're going deeper into more and more on Not Too Young to Run, and like we have here, we have the Chief Advocate of Abuja, Yunusa Ahmad Yusuf. I want us to go forward. I want us to move forward. Before now, what would you say is the rating of youth participation before the Not Too Young to Run bill and now? Are more youth coming into politics? Are more people being interested in politics before and now? What would you say? And what would you say are the successes?
Before now, we can just say it was just like just 5%. But now I think maybe we should say it has improved to like 35%.
That's like a huge... 25 extra.
Yes, because before now, the youth were scared when the 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 political elderly class have the security, the police, the army, and even when you have the zeal to participate politically, you would think you're just wasting your time. So, when you are sure you're just wasting your time, where will you
Want to go for?
why will you want to waste your time to just say you want to disturb yourself? Had it been I knew I was going to spend my hard-earned money, I wouldn't have bothered, no matter what the passion I have, the zeal, the love I have to go and rescue my people politically. So, but when you get there, you get discouraged. I'm sure so many youths today, because of me, or haven't listened to my own bitter part of the story, are highly discouraged and disappointed. Because so many people that, by virtue of what happened to me, I am sure no less than 20 youths have been discouraged not to invest their money or to even bring the initial capital. They have made politics to look as if it is now a business or an investment that
pays you off.
pays you off in the long run.
That's if at all it pays you.
So you can just look at how discouraged the people are. The young men are discouraged. Yeah. That's the truth.
But for me, I think since this not too young to run bill came into law, I think a lot of youth, especially different states, they've been able to come out to participate fully. Before now, most youth would want to, go on with their life. But we've seen youth come out, even on on Third Eye Africa TV, we've seen young people come to say, okay, we're a part of this party. We're of the Nigerian Young People Progressive. I think that's why they call them.
Now, when you're talking about young, not too young to run, there are two types of participation that you must clarify so that our viewers will understand. There is politics of being a follower. There is politics
of running
the race. So, the one we're talking about here is running the race, not being a follower. Being a follower does not really make you to achieve what you want the generation of the youth to achieve. No. All these people who are participating politically in one way or the other, they cannot do what I wanted to have gone to do for my people. They don't even have the mind.
But aside you now, there are a lot of young people.
And once they win election, you cannot advise them.
I think that's...
Once they win election, they wind their Prado jeeps up. Once they win election, they can't even call for a town hall meeting. Once they win election, they have a lot of security men now attached to them, following them with guns, and can tear gas you, flog you with koboko, deal with you in whatever manner, throw you into the cell. If you try to criticize them, I know how many times I have been threatened with arrest just for criticism. So there are two different kinds of participation of the youth in politics. Is it a follower or somebody who is aspiring to go and save his generation? Allow the youth to save their own generation. Stop helping us. For all those political stakeholders who are hearing me loud and clear, stop helping us. We don't need your help. Help us to aspire so that we can do the work by ourselves. What has stopped us? Why do you think that, why do you send us to schools? Today, we have social media, we have technology, there is so much increase in development, much more than when our forefathers used to trek, when they used to drive 504, when you rarely can see a car. But today we have improved from that, technological wise. So today a young man can create something and do even this handset that I'm using to talk, and we no longer trek to go deliver letters. So they should know that as the same people that we're talking about gave birth to us, but they are being selective in terms of when we want to attract development politically. They will select Mr. A has so-so background. It's either they are saying you're the son of so-so person, your father was this. Politics to the young now have become a thing of inheritance. They have made it to be something of inheritance, that your father was a former governor, so it is a birthright, or it is a family affairs. So you too can aspire to become a governor or a senator. Begin with this. Even when that is not your calling, or you don't have any leadership quality or any potential to assist your generation, you are being forced to go there because the resources and the initial capital to invest on you is there. And as they are investing the capital on you, they stole the capital from the people. They have now personalized it to be a family inheritance. So now you too, you steal and refund back. You can get to Juliet. So when you're talking about politics to the young, or else if the young men in Nigeria begin to understand what our rights are, because part of the problem of the youth of Nigeria is because we don't know our rights and we don't know how to really go for it. And in most cases, when they come, they use divide and rule for us. They give us money, we collect. When we collect, we do their bidding, and then later we come and be lamenting. The youths are always coming back to lament. But the first of all, to start with, to tell us the macaw, the youths, we are the problem to ourselves. Simple.
Okay, I want you to put there, how can now the youth, politicians, and every stakeholder turn this not too young to rule or to run from being practical, like you said, a paperwork, to being fully implemented in Nigeria, not excluding young women in politics?
First of all, INEC must take full charge. INEC must take full charge of the control of the misconduct that comes from political parties. INEC have left the youth at the mercy of political parties. You can imagine, for instance, PDP or APC can decide today, people are contesting area council elections any moment soon, and we are hopeful that primary election, right? The forms are going for not less than. You will hear some will say 10 million. Some will say, in fact, APC form now I think is about 20 million naira. where do you expect
Without no, this is aside every other
administrative fee?
Okay.
This is aside administrative fee. This is aside what you are going to give to the delegates to lobby them and beg them for a vote. If you give them 50,000, somebody will give them 100,000.
So the youths that are given the 100,000, how are they doing it? Is it still based on the inheritance youth?
That's what I'm telling you now. That INEC must remove us out of the mercy of political parties. That political parties, before they present a candidate, the candidate have been squeezed. Irrespective of however, wherever he went to get the money. Some of them will go borrow this money from banks. Some will borrow from people that will make them sign conditional papers. Some will borrow this money from corporate organizations and unions that will put them under conditions that they don't have a choice. If they succeed or they don't succeed, they will be under pressure. So now, if only INEC, the solution is if only INEC can take full charge and monitor what political party does with people who have shown interest. One of the biggest challenges of the not too young to run bill, they are to implement it. One, they are to checkmate the political parties because of the misconduct of the political parties against participants and aspirants is too obvious to note. The participant, in most cases, as I speak to you now, I've witnessed cases where the political parties are threatening candidates, credible and worthy candidates.
Young candidates?
Candidates. For instance, there are young candidates who are qualified, who have the zeal, energy, technology, modern understanding, ready to work and serve the people. But they don't have 20 million naira to go and give to the political parties. But they have every other requirement: education, experience, creativity. They have the adaptability, the technology, the ideology, the social, physical, technological, and every other potential for development and to assist our own generation as youth.
To meet up with the global trend.
But do not have the 20 million naira requirement by their political party.
So what solution really, both from like you said, you've mentioned what the INEC should do. What can the youth do about this?
The youth? Well, we will continue advocating, continue raising alarm. Well, they seem not to listen to us or want to hear us. As I'm talking to you now, some of them might have been very angry and are so eager for me to leave the station and the studio room because they are not happy that I'm exposing.
Yeah.
And what I am telling you, this is practical.
Verified.
Because I am a victim. And you might have another guest who might not be able to tell you as deep as what I have said.
Do you think it's favorable for some people?
Like
some people may not have the connection or the godfather or the money, but the situation, the political sector just open up to them. Do you think it's ever possible?
Yes, it is. There are some people who are ready to just say yes sir,
Okay.
Those people, it is favorable to them. It can favor them. As long as you are ready to be loyal, you can get an investor. And once you get an investor, you are coming to dance to his tune. So you are no longer coming to serve
The people.
the people. So even the people who have reposed confidence on you, you are going to disappoint them. You are
So-
definitely not coming to serve the people
Yes.
because you were sponsored, brought, godfathered, and that is why you find yourself in that office.
Interesting. I mean, it's been an interesting, eye-opening conversation with you. But I want to go to your own perspective now, your vision, your future. Looking at Nigeria in the next 5 to 10 years, what do you think is, youth participation? What do you envision or predict youth participation in politics would look like?
Well, only if the solution I have proffered can be adapted. If INEC can take my advice, sincerely, I assure you, even in the next 2027 election, there will be serious changes. And I wish and I hope the INEC chairman can be reasonable enough to take my advices. As a young man who has been a victim of circumstances,
Very true.
of denial,
Political circumstances.
of denial of my political rights, and how I was denied my election, the mandate by the people, just because they feel that I was not going to dance to their tune. So, but INEC at this juncture holds the key to everything. Now, the solution here is simple. The youth, from today henceforth, anybody under the sound of my voice that have listened to me, let us channel our energy on INEC and State Independent Electoral Commission. They are the criminals of politics.
Interesting.
They are the one defrauding us of our mandate. They are the one denying us. Ask them what laws have they made to protect the youths. What laws have they made
The Nigeria
to say they are not too young to run bill that was passed has been put into practice? What let's go back and review that not too young to run. I wish you have told me this was how deep I was going to come on this conversation.
I wanted to catch you.
I would have gone back to revisited the entire initiation of that bill, the approvals, and every condition that was stated therein. If you check, not even 30% of what is agreed
has been implemented.
have been implemented. And INEC should be held responsible. Nigerians are channeling our energy as a critic and an advocate. I want to tell you today, Nigerians were channeling our energy wrongly. It's only when, after they went and rigged election, we will come and be protesting. No, go and protest, face INEC. Ask INEC, what have they done? What have they done to protect the Nigerian youth? What have they done to protect somebody who wants to contest election? What have they done to caution the political party for not extorting
Young
politicians who wants to really come and serve the people? Do have a great day, please.
A lot to talk about. A lot. I mean, you have so much words. Unfortunately, we are going to call it off here on 360U Dialogue. We've had an amazing conversation with Yunusa Yusuf, and unfortunately, he is also a victim of circumstance when it comes to politics and what's it called? Youth not being able to run. But we've had a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for coming to
Thank you.
360U Dialogue. I wish we can take this on and on and on, but we have to close it here. Thank you for watching to our viewers, and you can follow us on our social media platform at Third Eye Africa TV on all social media platforms, and keep watching Third Eye Africa TV. My name is Juliet Owura. Bye for now. Thank you so much. I mean, you had a lot to say. I had one last question, but
You're not serious.